happened shortly after young Arthur had been crowned king. It was a terrible night. And Arthur was having another one of his bad dreams. Wearily, he took a candle and the crown he had tossed carelessly aside and came to see me in my tower.
Arthur, what is it, boy? What brings you here at this hour?
I am king. I go where I please. You are also a boy, and it is time for boys to be in their beds asleep. I cannot sleep, Merlin.
Why not?
I have bad dreams. 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 I could read your dreams. Well, tell me about them. They're always the same. A fatherless boy becomes king just because he pulls a sword from a stone. I think I know the very boy. Well, if you cannot tell me more about your dreams, all right, here. Then I will tell you a story about mine. What better than a story for a rainy night, eh? A story? I could use a good story. Let's see. Once I had a dream about dragons. Dragons? Oh, I like dragons. And well, you should. For dragons are the true dreams of magicians and kings. There once lived in the wild, rugged mountains of North Wales a lonely, fatherless boy called Emrys. He was small, with sharp eyes like a hawk's, and a mouth that rarely smiled, for he too was troubled by dreams and visions he did not understand. Because he was without a father, he made friends with an old man who spent his time in the mountains. He was the kind of old man who seemed to have been around forever and knew everything, from reading and writing to how birds speak and why leaves turn brown in autumn. He liked young Emrys and taught him all that he knew. Now, Emrys' mother was a princess, but she lived far away from her father's castle. She was a good mother, but knew nothing of climbing trees or catching tadpoles or other boys' sports. So Emrys had to invent that part of growing up for himself. And a lonely inventing it proved to be. The boys in the village teased him for not knowing who his father was, and called him Mother's Babe or Little Apron Pull, and never invited him to take part in their games. So Emrys spent his days studying birds and fish, and marveling at butterflies all by himself, and told no one about his strange dreams. It was his odd way with animals, especially birds, that finally brought the other boys to him. Not in friendship, but out of curiosity. And Emrys made up what he thought were harmless little predictions to amuse them. "The rain will soon fall," Emrys would say, and soon after, it did. "The first bird of spring will soon arrive," and soon after, it did. Well, any farmer's child might have made the same guesses, and after a while, the village boys were no longer impressed by him. However, once, when he was 9 years old, Emrys found a book of seasons and planetary movements in the old man's cottage. "Today the sun will disappear," he told everyone. The next moment there was an eclipse of the sun, just as Emrys had read there would be. It plunged the village into darkness. To the villagers, this was witchcraft. And after that, they avoided him altogether, saying he must have been spawned by a demon. So for years following, Emrys was alone most of the time. One day, when Emrys was about 12, there came to the valley a ruthless and ambitious man named Vortigern. He had unjustly declared himself High King over all Britain. After fleeing his enemies for weeks, Vortigern arrived with a bedraggled army of tired soldiers and a handful of magicians. The peaceful life of Emrys' tiny village was about to be changed forever.
There, atop that mountain, shall be my tower. Gather the people of this village. They shall build it, starting at once. You, my magicians, do what you must to please the Welsh gods, so that they allow my tower to be built.
Vortigern forced the villagers to cut huge pieces of stone from the mountainside and haul them with their little Welsh ponies. Vortigern drove them mercilessly, and soon a mighty tower began to take shape, grim and powerful, dominating the valley and the village below. But that very night, the tower began to shudder and shake. The mortar cracked, and the whole edifice fell with a mighty crash to the ground. Well, it was just as Emrys had dreamed, and it frightened him, for he did not know what to make of his powers to see into the future. Vortigern was convinced the villagers had done it on purpose.
Your work is careless. Start again. Now, and this time, pray you do it right.
So the villagers returned to work. Vortigern drove them even harder, and by the following night, the tower had been almost rebuilt. Then, once more, a great shudder rippled through the mountain, and the day's labor lay in ruins. Vortigern was furious and worked the villagers till they dropped. But a third time the tower fell to the ground, and by morning nothing remained but rubble. A less stubborn man would simply have looked for a safer place to build his tower, but not proud Vortigern. He turned to his magicians.
There is some dark magic here. Find the cause, then find a solution. My tower must be built.
The next morning, the magicians put on their most impressive robes. They drew the magic circle of power. They cast the sacred stones of fate.
What do you think?
They consulted the sacred sticks of prophecy.
I haven't a clue. Don't know what it means.
At last, they announced their findings to Vortigern.
Go on, say something. Go on.
You must find a fatherless child, yes, a boy, spawned by a demon, and sprinkle his blood upon the stone. Only then will the gods of this land let the tower stand.
Good work. I like that. That was excellent.
Then go and find me such a child.
We don't know if such a boy exists.
Gold for whoever brings me such a child.
Even as the greedy soldiers hurried off to search for a victim, a village boy tugged at Vortigern's sleeve.
Please, sir, we of the village know of such a boy. He lives right here, and he was spawned by a demon. He can talk to birds and make the sun fall from the sky. He lives up there, on the mountain. His name is Emrys.
At that moment, Emrys was absorbed in a strange vision. Under the ruins of the tower, he saw a pool of water, and in the pool, 2 huge stones.
Bring him to me.
What shall I do? Trust your dreams.
You are Emrys, the boy spawned by a demon?
I am Emrys, but no demon's son.
I will have your blood whether you be the right boy or not. Slay him. Now!
Better you should have my dreams. Ask your magicians what is under the tower.
Hey, untie the boy. What have you seen in dreams?
Dig beneath the ruins. There you will find a large pool of water.
An underground pool could be weakening the tower. We will test this dream, but if it proves false, I will have your blood.
Vortigern set men to digging, and beneath the ruins there was indeed a large pool of water. In that pool lay 2 great stones breathing in and out, and at each breath the mud around them trembled.
Inside the stones are dragons fast asleep. It is the dreaming of these dragons that shakes the earth each night and makes the tower fall.
Vortigern's men descended into the muddy pit, and with mighty hammers pounded upon the stones. Once, twice, 3 times their hammers rang out. Like jets of lightning, cracks ran around each stone. Out of one emerged a dragon with a belly as white as milk. Out of the other came a dragon red as wine. Huge, angry creatures they were, and their battle cries echoed in the air. The dragons circled one another, rising higher and higher into the sky. They wheeled about, poised to strike. And then came the fire. advanced and clashed breast to breast, raining teeth and scales down upon the ground. Vortigern's soldiers were too dumbstruck to shoot. So Vortigern grabbed a bow, knocked an arrow, and shot at the red dragon, wounding it in the wing. Distracted, the red dragon looked away, and the white made a furious slash at its throat. That was when Emrys remembered his childhood vision of this very fight and these very dragons. There was a moment of the most awful silence. And then the red dragon tumbled from the sky. The white dragon followed its victim to the ground and set it on fire with its breath. Quick as a cat, Vortigern grabbed another arrow and sighted on the white dragon's neck. But before he could shoot, the white dragon fled back into the air, banked northward, and was gone, winging over the mountains.
If you're so good at prophecy, tell me the meaning of this, boy.
It means that your fate shall be that of the red dragon, and soon you too shall be slain.
Tell me if you have any more dreams.
Back to work! My tower must be built!
Emrys watched from the hillside, feeling his confidence build within him.
If only I could find help, he thought to himself. A hawk circled overhead.
Emrys lifted his arm, and the great bird alighted. There was a communion between them, as though the hawk understood Emrys's thoughts. And off it flew. Rivers and hills, mountains and forests gave way beneath it. At last, off in the distance, it spied a vast army led by two noble knights. These were Vortigern's enemies, the true heirs to the throne, coming to rid the country of the murderous king. The knights saw the hawk, took it as a good omen, and followed it through a pass in the mountain. Emrys emerged from his vision and came down from the hillside to confront Vortigern.
Vortigern, I have had another dream. I dreamed that you were attacked by righteous knights and that you were defeated.
Vortigern was ready to slay Emrys for his impudence, but at that moment, a lookout atop the tower cried out,
Soldiers! Thousands of them!
The two kings were leading the armies into the valley. They rode up to the foot of the tower and cried out,
Come and meet your fate, Vortigern! Those whom you have made to suffer, cry out for your blood!
Vortigern ordered his men to defend the tower, but there wasn't a soul, not even his own soldiers, who would take sides with him now.
Surrender, Vortigern! You haven't a chance! Never! Never! Never!
Wake up, Merlin! Wake up! You can't end the story there.
Eh?
What happened to Vortigern?
Oh, those knights defeated Vortigern, all right. Burned him right up in his own tower.
And what of the two kings?
They were brothers named Ambrosius and Uther Pendragon.
Uther? Why, he was the last High King. Perhaps one of his sons will come to claim my throne.
Uther had only one son, though only I knew it.
You, Arthur? Uther was my father? Then I am not fatherless? You had a father, and he was king. Then I am king not just because I pulled a stupid sword from a stone.
Don't underestimate your strength in pulling that sword from the stone. There's nothing stupid about it. It took the son of a king to do such a thing.
It meant you were qualified to rule all of Britain. Why did you not tell me this before? I could not tell you until you were ready. There are rules for prophets just as there are rules for kings, you know. So I am king in truth. Always were. Only you doubted it. You can thank your dreams for, well, for waking you up. You see, great men dream great dreams. But what of Emrys? What happened to him? Emrys? Oh, he's still around. Went on dreaming. Made a career of it, I think. I still have this. Saved it all this time. You saved a dragon's tooth? Then you were the boy named Emrys? Surely you had guessed that before. But now maybe we can both get some rest. Kings need their sleep if they are to be wise. No more bad dreams, Merlin. Thank you. Don't mention it. My king. Well, after that, Arthur went on to become a truly great king. As for me, I did quite well as a wizard. Stayed on for years, helping Arthur with his knights and the Round Table, and, well, those are stories for another time. Magicians need their sleep, too.